Hey, welcome to Davita's Stampin' Spot. It is Thursday and I have a project ready for you. This is a card that I shared in our class last month and I just think it's really cool. And then I also turned it into a Christmas design, so I wanted to share it with everybody. It does require a lot of pieces of paper, but I think the end result is definitely worth it. So a lot of pieces, and you're going to need your paper trimmer and a pencil. So I have the first two layers are 1 1/4 by 5, 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. My next set of layers, 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, 3 by 4 3/4, and 3 1/4 by 5. And you'll notice that these just layer just 1/4 of an inch different on each layer. Then I have 3 3/4 by 5, a white, and a piece of the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper. 2 layers of Petunia Pop at 4 by 5 1/4. My card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored it at 4 1/4 like always. All right, now when I learned this card, I had to laugh. The lady that taught it to us, she kept saying, you have to remember the number 1 3/4. And it's worked because I didn't have to look up what the number was today. All right, so there's two ways you can do this. The way I found that was easiest was I took my paper trimmer and I went to 1 3/4 because we're going to use 1 3/4. If you want to make sure you're exactly right, close your paper trimmer and mark that spot. You can also do it with this or a ruler. Then you're going to go from that tick mark down to your point. Okay, so make sure your tick mark lines up there and like that, and you're going to cut. Going to tell you this morning that, yeah, I'm doing it this morning. The paper trimmer is nice and sharp. I cut my finger this morning. This first piece that you cut off the card base, you need to keep because you're going to use it, okay? Now we're going to take the Petunia Pop, one piece of that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark 1 3/4. Then we're going to go from that tick mark to the point. After a bit, you're going to say, good grief, how many times do we have to do this? I'm going to tell you several. All right, this piece we are not going to use. So we're going to set it to the side. This is your white piece. Same thing. We're going to mark 1 3/4. Then we are going to go from the tick mark down to the point. Oh, I bumped it. I meant to grab the Christmas card. We won't need that piece. We'll set that aside. And one more time, our designer series paper, which is always a little more tricky because if you're all your pattern, make sure you can see your tick mark and go from 1 3/4 to the point and cut that off. All right, and we're going to set that aside. We don't need that piece either. All right, now we're going to change it up just a little bit. For the next one, we're going to take this stack and we're going to cut it in half. Now you want to make sure you continually cut it at the same angle. Okay, so we're going to cut it in half. Like that. And we're going to keep the piece on the right. Piece on the left, lay it somewhere so you don't get mixed up. Same thing, we're going to cut it in half. So point to point, make sure your angle that you're always going the same way. So if you're going to do the top right corner is always on this side. It doesn't matter quite as much if you're using solid colors. If you would use pattern, then you would have to be very careful that you do this. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take these pieces and go the other way with those three and line them up like that. All right. I guess I didn't show you the finished card, did I? I guess we're going with mystery today. All right, same thing. The right top corner is our piece that is dropped down this way. Put our paper trimmer. Now, if you start in the middle of your paper, you don't get that funny little notch at the end of your paper. So I try to remember, put my cutting blade in the middle. Oh, I moved that one. I was going to tell you this morning, the reason I cut my finger is I was looking at the blade to decide if I needed a new blade. Strongly encourage you to have a set of cutting blades on hand. They're $13, but you get 4 of them. So that's just a little over $3 a blade. Probably closer to 4 a blade by the time you do tax and shipping. Always have these on hand. We do tend to run out of them occasionally, so make sure you have them on hand ahead of time. So when you need them, you have them. All right. Now, we're going to go back to our card base and grab my bone folder. If you place a $30 order before next week's video, I will send you the tutorial for this. You'll have all the pieces, the sizes, the step-by-step instructions, so you can make this card over and over and over. All right, so we're going to take the petunia pop, and I noticed my tick mark I didn't cut quite right. Then I'm going to erase that. Lay that there. Then we're going to take the designer series paper, and that is going to go on top of that. So it's really neat. If you do your papers 1/4 of an inch smaller for your layers, then cut them all at 1 3/4. It makes your mat and your angle work out really nicely. Sorry, arthritis is getting me this morning. And as I say that, just to cut this one just a little funny. There we go. All right. Now we're going to take this next layer. So this is the one that was 3 1/4 by 5. We're going to take those fan pieces and glue them together. This piece is going to start down here at the corner, and you're going to have these edges here. So when you glue them together, you need to make sure that the angle is the right way. So lay it on there as you lay your layers on here to make sure it's the right way. Because if I do it this way, it is not going to work. See the problem? So make sure you keep your layers straight. This is one of those times where you kind of need to have your table cleared off. I know, hard thing to do. And you keep all your piles straight, okay? Because this triangle is not the same on all the sides. So my gift card class is next week. If you're on my, sorry, if you're on my email list, you should have gotten an email today with a video of the projects. I think they're really fun. And I just love having gift cards on hand, especially at Christmas time. All right, now this piece here is the one that we cut off, that 1 3/4. It is the bottom layer here, and then we are going to add these layers to it. Making sure. Yep, this way. All right. Like I said, once you get your pieces cut, this is a really pretty and pretty easy card. I think I have my Christmas card stack behind me here. So I will see if I can grab that Christmas card and show you. I use the Season of Elegance Designer Series paper. You do have to measure accurately for this card or it doesn't turn out quite right. Now, one of the biggest things you have to remember is the top part of this one, you do not want glue on it or you're going to close your card. So whenever I have a card like that, I put the adhesive on the front flap and then I do the bottom part of your layer card like this so I don't mess up and glue my card shut. And this is going to line up. Your points are going to go right at the edges there. And then this one is going to go on the top. Again, you don't want your top. It's going to go right over the top. And this bottom piece lines up with the edge of your card. And there you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Now for the inside, you're going to take the other petunia pop and we're going to put it here. And you know, I didn't grab any stamps. So when the ladies did this as a Christmas card, some of them did choose to put a circle here on the front. I wanted all this design. I just think this is so pretty. I didn't want to mess with it. But you could put a circle on there if you wanted to, or another strip with a greeting. And I'm actually going to leave this card blank so that I can write whatever I want on this card. You can't see it, but I can see that little pencil mark there. And there you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me see if I can grab my Christmas card. Well, I can't. Looks like maybe they made them all at the crop. If I can find a picture, I'll post it underneath here so you can see it. I hope you like this project. Again, if you place a $30 order before shipping and tax, by next Tuesday, I will send you the instructions for this so that you have all the details you need to make this beautiful card. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.